Sharkel under the sticks, Jabamani Tudu, Viksit Bara, Susanna Kanado, Neha, Pyari Kaka, their skipper, Babina Devi, Julie Kishan, Punam, Amiratu, and Jambara, Matilda Kwao. And on the bench, they've got Nishima, Jasoda, Priya, Hema Munda, Smita Sundas, and they are playing under Paromita Sit. Another seasoned name when it comes to the bench of Indian football, a name that can actually come in handy, especially with these young players coming to the fore. And of course, their manager, Shayantan Bhattacharjee, as well, will be taking over the charge. And now we cannot wait for these two teams to arrive in the center. It's going to be very, very crucial that these two teams start on a bit of a high note. It's extremely foggy out here at the National Center of Excellence, and this is one of those facilities forged by AIFF, hoping that this can come in handy. And right, both the teams are all set, spearheaded by the entourage of officials, and they'll be out in the center in no time at all. We can see Snigdha Mondol, we can see Hangma Subba as well, Sujata Palit and Moni Khilari. They are a part of today's retinue of officials stepping out in the center. And just the moment that we all have been waiting for, the moment that will bring these teams out in the middle. The roar from the speakers blaring out loud. An early, chilly winter morning, setting up the bedrock for what can be an oscillating battle with two teams kind of in contrasting positions. Of course, Nita Football Academy still undefeated, a draw and a victory to kickstart proceedings in the IWL, and now they'll be hoping to light up the stage once again. Right, the pre-match rituals then. Quick handshakes, high fives, and just those smiles signaling the friendship that these players share amongst themselves before the war begins. The calm before the storm. The two captains will step out in the center for the toss. And that's a confirmation of the officials as well. Snigdha Mondol, our referee for the day. Moni Khilari and Sujata Palit, the assistant referees. And Seng Hangma Subba is our fourth official. And the two captains making their way to the center will be Lingto Igambi Devi, one Kem Lingto Igambi Devi leading Kickstart FC. And at the other end, Nita Football Academy spearheaded by Pyari Kaka. Two very seasoned campaigners, two phenomenal players, and two players who have been doing the rounds in Indian football and Indian women's circuit for quite a while. A few instructions just being given out before the teams take their respective positions and possibly hope to set the stage on fire. Indian Women's League, just to give you all a quick heads up, this year it will be played in a couple of phases. This is the first phase going on, and then once this is done, there will be a bit of a break, and then we'll return with the second phase. And that is because of the international action which has been lined up and will be coming up shortly enough. The Indian women have already been in phenomenal touch qualifying for the 2026 AFC Asian Cup, and they have been clubbed alongside Japan, Vietnam and Chinese Taipei in Group C. Right then, we're all set to roll. We are all set to witness some fiery, feisty footballing action as Snigdha Mondol keeps a keen watch on her ticker. And off we roll here at the National Centre of Excellence as Kickstart Football Club are locked in a battle with Nita Football Academy. Kicking on your frame from the left to the right in their black, it is Kickstart Football Club. And kicking on your frame from the right to the left, and already in a bit of an early press and in their signature whites, it is Nita Football Academy. Which team will come out on top? Only time shall reveal it all. A bit of an early movement already from Jabamani Turu. Pyari Kaka speeding past from the right, trying to lay it off. Not really the best of passes there. Every time Pyari gets onto the ball, shrieks of terror kind of takes over. Oh, that's a lovely ball and the opening goal as well. Who else than Pyari Kaka? She's in dream nick and she continues that dream run as well. That's the 4th goal for her in this tournament. A lovely ball. Kickstart Football Club defense were caught in a nap and they pay the price, which is hefty enough. A lovely layoff from the left to Neha with a picture perfect delivery. But then it should have been better by Lingtoy. He completely misjudged the trajectory of the ball. And waiting behind her in ambush was the predator, Pyari Kaka. And she fires home from point blank range. Early troubles already for Kickstart Football Club. And this is not something that they anticipated. And just to give you all a quick heads up, even in the last game as well, Pyari Kaka, she scored early. And she's just replicated that. And this is where Nita Football Academy, it gets so dangerous. With Pyari Kaka leading the line from the right. And with the likes of Amiratu joining her as well. It's kind of tough. And Amiratu just on cue gets hold of the ball. But this time, decent clearance coming in from Ranjana Chanu. But at this point in time, 2 minutes in, and Kickstart Football Club are already in damage control mode. That's a confirmation. Pyari Kaka with a stunning strike. It's going to be a long throw in here. They'll take their time. They are in no rush. They've got a goal already. Jabamani Turu with the throw. Kaka with a lovely back flick, trying to lay it off for a teammate Poonam. But couldn't really find the position right. Passing needs to be slightly better, even though we are just starting out. Because the more accurate the passes are, the more chances will open up. And Nita Football Academy looks like they already are in the mood to enjoy themselves. Couple of quick passes, not really forcing themselves forward. They want to keep that temperament of theirs in position. Another one of those long balls. And it'll go all the way to Haripriya. And nicely won there by Susanna Kannadu. Nicely intercepted as well. And now hoping to launch a counter-attack. Oh, that's a $1 million ball. Gets hold of it, cuts in. Looking for that shooting space there, but blocked away. Kiran Balachanu. He was in a decent position, did everything right. The first touch was excellent. Unfortunately, the second touch, it went slightly haywire. Early exchange is already screaming intent from both the sides. Of course, Kickstart Football Club still to get into the groove. Trying to contain the feisty heat that is being inflicted upon them by the women in white, Nita Football Academy. It's going to be a throw in here. Instructions coming in from their coaches. And nicely won there as well. Bhumika with that finish of hers and was stripped. Referee, however, not really interested. There's the game to go on. And now a bit more of a coordinated attack through the center. Baby Sana lays it forward. Referee blows the whistle. The flank's corner. There was a good ball forward there. And you can already see the coach of Nita Football Academy, Paramita Seth, one of the known faces in Indian women's football. Another one of those long balls brought down nicely. The idea was to find Pyari on the right. Not the most ideal pass, but then Pyari does manage to get hold of it. She's got options, of course. 4 numbers around. Another one of those long balls from Jabamani Tudu. Headed interception. Does well to find the ball on the left. For the last 3 to 4 minutes, Kickstart Football Club has started opening themselves up a little more. You can see Chauba Devi leading the lines for Kickstart Football Club from the sidelines. Of course, a team hailing all the way from Karnataka. Have done well actually in the domestic circuit. And they plan to keep their hopes alive. Last year, they had a slow start as well, but then eventually started garnering momentum. And Kickstart Football Club finally found themselves finishing the tournament in the 4th position. They went on to win 4, draw 6 of their games, and also scored 20 goals in the process. Kind of tells you that if it's their day, they can be very, very menacing and they wouldn't care who they are up against. But today, they need to, because at the other end, of course, Nita Football Academy, the kind of momentum that they are in, it is very hard to contain them. That's not what you would like to be up against early on in the tournament. Once again, another fine ball in the box. A bit of a chase as well from Neha, quickly coming in from the left. Neha, another very young player, rising through the echelons over the last few years and has looked really good. And that's nicely done as well through the center. Again, not the best of balls. Slightly emasculated, intercepted as well. Trying to accelerate from the right. A duel in the making. Kiran Balachanu against Viksit Bara. 2 senior players. The gentle chip with Susana Kanadu. He's kind of a wall and you don't really get past that gigantic reach of hers. Again, just taken away in the nick of time there. Arun Abag, hailing all the way from Bengal, was involved in that crucial interception. Does well. Again, a long-range effort, but couldn't really get the elevation at all that would have troubled Adrija Sarkil. Make no mistake, she is a big name in the making. Those razor-sharp reflexes of hers and the towering stature that she commands. Also, a brilliant positioning sense that she brings into the mix. Can be a top name to watch out for. Nicely controlled by Pyari. Again, trying to get into that link-up play. One away. Trying to play it all the way to Poonam. Apologies to Neha. This time though, Neha gets it. Operating from the left, Neha. Looking in control. Again, excellent 1-2. Neha now speeding past the marker. And Neha comes up with the cross. A chance again. And the goalkeeper, Haripriya, should have collected that, even though it was a bit tough. At the end of the day, it was taken care of well enough by the defense of Kickstart Football Club. Haripriya subjected to early pressure. Looking a tad shaky. Shouldn't be much of a challenge there for Vixit. Vixit goes all the way to Adrija. Back to Vixit. Susanna Canado. Run short of space. One back. But who was the delivery for? Again, not the best of clearance either. Slightly scrappy at this point in time. That right wing looks fairly activated. Kiran Balachanu. Lovely cross. And a timely block as well. Julie Kishan doing the honours. Not allowing a free shy. Kiran Bala. A fine knock forward. And then just releasing it. Kiran Pista. But before any harm could have been inflicted upon Nita Football Academy. A fine clearance coming in from Julie Kishan. Another one of the senior names in the Nita Football Academy side. Back to Susanna. 11 minutes on the ticker. And as things stand, it's Nita Football Academy leading from the solitary goal scored by Pyari Khaka. Again, the idea was right. The execution slightly over the place. And now another long ranger. Advija Sarkel quickly got her hands up just in the nick of time. And blocked the trajectory of the ball. That was a fine effort, to be honest. A lovely layoff. And then a wonderful shot there from Kiran Pista. Another one of the top names that Kickstart Football Club might just bank upon. Make no mistake, Kickstart Football Club, they don't have foreigners in their side. So it's all the Indian players. It's the experience of the Indian players like Kiran Pista, Baby Sana Devi, Kiran Balachanu that they'll have to rely upon. And so far, despite conceding that early goal, Kickstart Football Club, they've actually looked in good control. Namiratu dropping deep now. It's been a while. She's seen a glimpse of the ball. Pyari scooting past. She's got Amiratu. Amiratu gets the ball. Lays it off for Neha on the left. Back to Amiratu. Nicely controlled. Gentle chip towards the right. Still with Pyari. Flag stayed down. Pyari with the cross. And this time a phenomenal collection there from Haripriya Deka. Leaping up just in time to collect what could have been a potential delivery for another goal scoring movement. And now Nita Football Academy. It's been a while since they have come forward with one of those towering attacks of theirs. Vixit Bara finds options out in front of her. Bhumika Devi. Poonam. Pyari on the ball. Pyari's got space ahead of her. And Pyari eventually takes a smite from distance. But it goes a million miles away. Pyari Khaka just telling her teammates, calm down. Play with composure. We have the lead. Let's try and compound that. Let's try and accelerate. And find the insurance goal as well. Let's not keep things dangling by a loose thread here. But Kickstart Football Club, despite being at the receiving end for the first 5 minutes, they've gathered themselves and they have gathered that composure of theirs as well, that equanimity, looking good on that side. And now speeding past from the left. Here's a chance. Cross comes in. Susanna Conado with that extended left foot of hers waylays the ball. Kiran Bala switches it to the left. Another cross in the mix, but this time not the best of crosses, not the most ideal cross that we'll witness today. Again, they have the options and they are hunting for it. It was Mariam Malbala Murugan. Susanna. Still a rock in the defense of Nita Football Academy. Last year as well, she was in fine nick. And not just in the defense, but her attacking flair is equally brilliant. Can come up with those towering strikes, leaving her counterparts in utter disarray and frazzled. So watch out for her. Proving out to be a Nita Football Academy specialist. However, this time she gets beaten. The fine delivery coming in all the way from the right. Sunita Munda was at it. But Sunita just couldn't get the cross where one of the runners would have been circling around. But Sunita Munda, another one of those players, another one of those rising phenomena. And a chance from distance. Advija Sarkel with a crucial save there. Throwing a body in the air, ensuring the fact that she's palming it away to safety. It was a quickly taken throw in by Ranjana Chanu. A nice twist there from Kiran Pista. And Advija Sarkel on her toes, following the ball and ensuring she's parrying it away. At the expense of a corner nonetheless. Mariam Albala Morgan with the corner. They've got options out in the centre. Mariamal, she's been in fine touch of late. We can see movement. Mariamal launches it, a back header, and it could have been trouble actually. It's corner at the other end, lucky there. Jabamani Turu almost steering that into her own net. There you go. Advija had to react. Luckily the ball wasn't anywhere close. Another chance, this time Kiran Pista will be coming up with the corner. Kiran with that outswinger of hers. Chaos in the box. Can still be trouble. Shot comes in. However, misses its mark. Advija Sarkel was way out of position. A lovely move in the making there by Baby Sana Devi. And had she been on target, this could have been the equalizer that they were looking forward to. Baby Sana Devi, she's already scored for Kickstart Football Academy this year against Setu Football Club. Another attack in the making. Another chance. Couple of quick touches there by Aruna Bagh. But eventually the consequent delivery in the box didn't really look like as good as it should have been. A bit of chaos through the centre, but now the ball has fallen back. Another one of those long balls for Pyari Khaka. Pyari gets hold of it, but before she could have played it into the galloping stride of Amiratu, that ball was intercepted. Kickstart Football Club looks a lot better right now. They are playing with intent and they are playing with an objective. And all the players out in the centre, they are kind of threaded together by that same rope of intent. And that's a quick change actually. Poonam taken off and Jasoda Munda brought into the attack. Not really sure what the idea is here. Can very well be Nita Football Academy. They do not want any more surprises out in the centre. Because at this point in time, that midfield of theirs, it's leaking. Too many balls coming up for Kickstart Football Club, and that's how they are building the attack. And that is possibly one of the reasons why they are taking off Poonam. Because there weren't any signs of injury for now. Just to ensure the fact that they are plugging that massive chasm which is being created. At times you have to take a few decisions which might not be one of those expected ones, but then at the end of the day, again, one for the team. There was a bit of movement around there. Could have been a fine chance in the making. Kiranbala Chanu, she is taking the workload, pressing high enough, trying to create the pressure, trying to create a bit of ruckus in the Nita Football Academy box here. Couple of gentle touches again. Quickly twirling around. Pyari starting to scoot again from the right, trying to lay it forward. Amiratu, but the ball was a tad too far away than Amiratu's likings. But nonetheless, Haripriya Dekar didn't want to take any chance at all, bombing it away at the expense of a corner. Another set piece after a long time. And here's an opportunity for Neha, hoping to call it right, hoping to plant seeds of doubts. Kickstart Football Club. Can they eventually deal with this one? Neha, she's got a very vicious left-footed in-swinger, and that's exactly what she'll be planning to bring out. Pyari Kaka being marked closely there. They know that you cannot allow Pyari Kaka any movement, any free movement in the 6-yard box. The referee just calming things down here, having a quick word with Amiratu Jambara, possibly telling her to pacify. Right, everything's sorted. We'll get back into action. Neha with the corner, and that's a wonderful bit of defensive maneuver. Another shot comes in, but that rebound, it went miles up. Neha looking really good with every succeeding year, and a bit of a challenge there for Haripriya Dekar. Looks like she's taken a blow on the face. We'll have to take a look how it came to that. The medical professional out in the center, just to ensure that Haripriya is okay, because again, the FIFA regulations, they state that if a goalkeeper is injured, then she'll have to be treated on the field. Of course, Paromita Sit might be slightly worried. Once again, look at the replay there. Lovely ball, curling. That was actually a fine save, to be honest. Coming in all the way from Haripriya Dekar. We'll restart action. Looks like the goal kick was quickly taken, and Haripriya, she's absolutely cool. She's absolutely fine. Gets back up on her feet. Takes a bit of a feeble goal kick, to be honest, and as a result, Amiratu wins it back. Amiratu has got Pyari to her left, but again, fine interception. This alacrity shown by Kickstart Football Club, it's kind of crucial, to be honest. Keeps Nita Football Academy under the pump. And once again, Kiran Pista from the left. Kiran scooting past, getting those long strides into play, lays it off. Again, confusion, not the right touch. She had to let the ball slide to the extreme right, because then the chance could have been even better. It wasn't the case. These are the small maneuvers that you got to understand. Just because the ball's coming your way, if you are not in a comfortable position to try and convert, or at least get a convenient angle, you have to go for a dummy. You have to believe in your teammate rather. And straight away, Nita Football Academy with a counter of their own. Another one of those long trips. Pyari leaping past her marker Lingtoy. But then it looks like Pyari had a bit of movement around with those elbows of hers, and that caught the referee's eye. And not the best of fast touches. The referee didn't blow a whistle actually. And eventually, confused, appealing, leaving the ball, what could actually have been an open chance, they squandered it away. Again, small movements here. Just a few moments ago, a fine attack was in the making, but they couldn't really make the most of it. Just because they were not sure who should be the one taking the shot. Neha, so far impressive from the left wing here. And she continues to deliver. Every time Nita Football Academy has come forward in attacks, Neha has looked really good, operating with ferocity and always on the lookout for the right passes. 22 minutes on. Another lovely ball to the right, and now Pyari Kaka. She's got space. She's got Amiratu as well. But the consequent cross was all over the place there. All the way to Haripriya. Haripriya has looked solid actually. conceding that opening goal in the early minute at times. They say that it can be troublesome. Another one of those fine balls, Susanna. Taking care of it, marshalling her legions. Again, just trying to be quick enough there. Lingtoy couldn't really get the pass in position. It's interesting to see Haripriya Deka making her cut above Mebam Lingtoy Gambi Devi, who's actually an experienced campaigner. Another move and another one just goes missing. Could have just moved forward. That is a lovely ball, a chance, however. The flag's gone up. And that fairly should snuff out any breath in the lungs of Kickstart Football Club, at least on this occasion. And it was a lovely move in the making, but then things went off the charts. At times, you have to make your way with the perfect timing, and the run that came up was caught off its position. Started slightly early. Again, a bit of a haywire delivery. Just dropped into the box. No one around from Kickstart Football Club to pounce upon that. And Pyari Kaka this time failing to keep the ball in play. Quick throw. And that's wonderfully done, actually. This can be another one of those long ranges coming in. Blocked away by her own teammate. Another drive from distance. But this one, way too miscued. Bibicha Devi looking good. We'll take a look again. A nice little square off for Bibicha Devi before Pyari Kaka could have just come in front of that shot's trajectory. The shot was fired, but the shot was definitely not on target. Good forward ball. And the passing accuracy from Nita Football Academy hasn't exactly like the way they would have wanted that. Kiran Balachanu. Again, a fine duel in the making there. Viksit Bara as well. She's looked in control so far. But Kiran Balachanu. Oh, that's a lovely ball. Kiran Bala. Kiran Bala going for shot all by herself is what led to the unraveling of another lovely move there. We'll take a look again. A wonderful forward push there from Baby Sana. And Kiran Bala, I think she wanted to come up with the minus, but unfortunately ended up getting underneath the ball, imparting unwanted elevation as the ball flew out of the park for a goal kick. Susanna making no mistake at all, but not the most promising clearance either. You can very clearly see how Kickstart Football Club, they are focused on compounding the attacking intent that they have right now in that repertoire of theirs. Through the center. And now they play it towards the far right. Got options, of course. Aruna Bagh stepping up. And again, Aruna, she was anticipating an overlap there from Kiran Bala, but gets it all wrong. And another change in the making. This time, it's coming all the way for Kickstart Football Club. Kiran Balachanu, she'll be taken off. I think this is a move to try and unsettle Viksit Bara. Kiran Bala, despite the fact that she's looked good, I think she could have given a bit of a longer rope. Considering the fact that they are a goal down, they want Kipchen in the act. And Kipchen comes on. Neha with the cross, a bit of reflection. Goal number 2. Pyari Kaka nets a brace. That's how good Pyari Kaka is. She doesn't wait for a second invitation. Another picture perfect ball from Neha. And that's the second time she scored an assist. And Pyari Kaka registering her name on the score sheet, firing home her 5th goal of the tournament. Neha, ample space ahead of her, and Pyari following the ball, point blank range, calm head in position, and a gentle poke at the far side, leaving Haripriya Deka stranded where she was. 2-0 for Nita Football Academy, and both the goals coming from Pyari Kaka. The insurance goal is what they were hunting, and the insurance goal is what they've found. But again, that's not the end of the road for them. After conceding the first goal, of course, Kickstart Football Club, they came up with more intent, they came up with more pressing attitude altogether. But then one moment of madness, one glimpse of individual brilliance, instinctive brilliance, and the next thing we know is the ball has been buried 6 feet under into the back of the net by who else than Pyari Kaka. The defense of Nita Football Academy, bolstered by Viksit Bara, Susana Kanadu, Julie Kishan and Jabamani Turu, looking in great nick. Neha this time, a bit of a heavy first touch. Can she eventually recover? Not really. 33 minutes have elapsed, and Nita Football Academy calling the right shots. Kickstart Football Club, they have a long way to go, and they'll have to gather themselves. It's not that they have played an ordinary brand of football, but again, at times, it's not the gentry of football that you're playing. At times, it's those small moments that make a lot of difference, and that's exactly what's been the case. Nita Football Academy, 2 chances, and 2 smashed into the back of the net. Kipchen finds momentum altogether from Kiran Pista, but again, interception coming in. Well, that's not the updated score. Actually, the updated score is Nita Football Academy has a 2-0 cushion, and now a bit of movement there from Jasoda Munda. Jasoda has switched to the left. Jasoda lays it off, but again, doesn't really get it right. Yeah, the updated score is on the top left corner. Neha, couple of assists already, proving out to be extremely instrumental for Nita Football Academy, and they look like well en route, at least with the kind of football that we've had in the first 33 minutes, to register what can be their second win of the tournament. Again, hoping to get it into the, or rather at the feet of Neha, but miles away from the ball. And that's a good ball onto the right. Oh, again, Susana Kanadu with that slide, just in time. And this time, kind of losing her footing out there. It was Matilda Kwao. In fact, Amirato it was, who went for the ball. Decently done. And here they come. On the lookout for another one of those openings. Julie Kishan trying to knock it forward. Gets blocked by Kipchen. Again, Kipchen extremely quick, extremely fast. One of the players who can actually make a difference. But I think she would have been a very good addition alongside Kiran Balachanu, because Kiran Balachanu was also in great touch. Yes, she was unable to make those headaways against Viksit Bara. But then every single time she got hold of the ball, at least switching to that central channel, or might be at times to the left, coming up with those long rangers, she looked in fine positionings. But they just couldn't make the most of it. Amiratu. Pyari wins it back. Pyari on the ball. Pyari, she's got options. Again, you got to do better. Baby Sana Devi, or in fact Bhumika Devi, apologies. She was trying to find Amiratu onto the right. And through the center, just waylaid when it should have mattered. Pyari. Now through the center. Amiratu switching to the right. Another one of those long balls. Neha with the overlap. Unfortunately caught in the offside trap. Another chance goes begging. We can see Paramita Sit always involved in making the right calls and making the right maneuvers. An excellent reader of the game, one might say. A lot of space ahead. One back nicely through the center. Baby Sana Devi could have just hurried a bit. She had a bit of a vision in front, and she should have gone for it. Should have scooted forward to come in with intent, or at least to try and fire home one of those long ranges maybe. Because when you're 2-0 down, you have to try and come with every single option that you have in that repertoire of yours. At times you have to believe, at times you can't just get the most optimum chance. That's wonderfully done now through the center. They've got a lot of options. Amiratu! And Amiratu next one as well. The placement so good. The understanding, the chemistry between Amiratu and Pyari Kaka. It is like poetry in motion. Nita Football Academy, now they are running riot at the National Centre of Excellence. And Kickstart Football Club, simply clueless. Simply in utter disarray, in an utter rut altogether. A couple of fine touches through the centre from Matilda. There you go, speeding past. Wonderfully threaded, and then Pyari Kaka coming up with a crucial touch to eventually lay it into the stride of Amiratu. And she's made no mistake. Amiratu and Jambara gets a third of the tournament. This is turning out into a goal fest for Nita Football Academy, and troubles everywhere for Kickstart Football Club. The writing's on the wall. Kipchen through the center. Releases it for the far left. Quick passing. Again, a very watery effort there. Coming all the way from distance. Baby Sana Devi. She had a golden chance actually earlier in the game, but just couldn't convert that. Here in the first half, 3 goals already for Nita Football Academy. They scored 6 in their last game. But if there's one thing that they'll want more desperately than the goals right now, is to keep a clean sheet. They are still hunting for that. Both the games they have conceded a goal each. Susanna Kanado has looked in great touch today, leading her troops from the back. And that's what you want in your defense. A titan to lead your forces from the back. Especially when you have got the duo of Pyari Kaka And Amiratu up top. And Matilda as well with that great touch of hers through the center. Just showing that if she gets hold of the ball, kind of passing, the kind of visibility, the kind of range that she has, it can lead to a lot of problems for her teams there, for her opposition teams, of course. Ranjana with that long ball in front. Back to Pyari. Pyari checking around there. Eventually launches it forward, but no one around to lay claim to it. Looked like it had a deflection along the way, and it is a throw-in as well. Final 5 minutes of action remaining, not too many stoppages. Decent game of football is what we have witnessed, and looks like that's how it will be for the remaining 5 minutes, unless there's something of an unfurling that one might just call untoward in football. Susanna. And I think again the defense, the integrity, the solidity that they are playing with, that kind of reshapes everything. Back to Susanna. Adrija with a crucial save in the first half already. Got a hand up. Pyari switches it. Too much of a central position. Wonderfully taken care of by Kiran Pista. And now through the center. Kipchin, is it? Baby Sana, in fact. Twirling around. One back. Nicely. Bit of movement out there. Baby Sana trying to go for a square ball. Oh, wow. That was a clattering slide altogether. But eventually everyone's okay. Another one of those long balls. Not the best of clearances. Pyari fails to capitalize. Ling Toi got the first touch wrong, but Pyari couldn't get hold of it either. Lucky for Kickstart Football Club. Kipchin now. She's got space onto the left. Needs to go in a bit more quicker. Fine ball. Kipchin does well to win it. Kipchin before the shot could come in. Here's a chance, and Adrija with another lovely block out there. She's copped a blow for sure. But she's ensured the fact that the citadel is very well protected. This was a lovely chance out there for Kickstart Football Club, but once again the delay to pull the trigger. The lack of creativity in the box is what made life a bit too easy. Once again, we'll take a look. Kipchin with that gentle nick of hers, but Susanna Konadu, what a block. And before Sunita Munda could have pulled the trigger, Adrija Sarkale storming out of that box of hers and ensuring the fact that she's extending herself right in front of the ball, closing the gateway that Sunita Munda had even for a split second. That's intensive defending altogether. And that's exactly what Nita Football Academy will like to see throughout the rest of the game. Despite the fact that it's a chilly morning out here, we can still say that the game has been quite an incredible one, and with a kind of intensity in the mix, we might expect more goals coming our way. Pyari Kaka, what a play. Hat-trick in the last game, brace for today, and might just be on the lookout for another hat-trick, which can be a historic move in the making. We'll have to ruffle the pages of history books to find out when was the last time in IWL a woman scored back-to-back hat-tricks. Hat-tricks there, actually. And that's some decent football there from Baby Sana Devi. Good control. Again, after all the hard work, after all the due diligence, if the final pass that can eventually make the difference is miscued, then it won't matter. Again, nicely won away. Bhumika Devi, 4 minutes of additional time. Matilda still looking from where she can penetrate into the box. Eventually decides to go for a back pass. Another cross. Pyari comes out. And Haripriya, she's almost made a hash of affairs, but then she had her defenders in close vicinity. Eventually gets the clearance. And again, no pressure, and yet the pass that came in, that was so ordinary, that was so out of place. That has been the story, that has been the motive so far for KFC. Kickstart Football Club, they will need a bit more precision, they'll need a bit more speed, and they'll need a bit more intensity, to be honest, which actually hasn't been there. And now Neha, hoping to lay claim to the ball, but this time decent defending coming in from Aruna Bagh. And Haripriya doing well to collect it. And Susanna at the other end. No problems whatsoever for her. That's wonderfully done. Neha with a picture perfect pass. Neha with acres of space in front. And Neha drops the cross in the box. Unfortunately, it wasn't the best of crosses. It was elusive. She kept on storming forward and actually went for goal all by herself. The idea wasn't a bad one considering that Haripriya was slightly off the line. Again, not really what you would expect the players of Kickstart Football Club to do. Someone who's near to the ball should be the one getting hold of it, and just in that last maneuver we saw, she decided that it was not the right move. But now, Nita Football Academy, they have got hold of the ball, slips out of possession, but Matilda in position as well, back to Susanna. Susanna has got Julie Kishan, quickly released, Jasoda Munda. Susanna and Julie combining to form the core of the Nita Football Academy defense. They have kind of looked in solid control as well. Another fine ball forward. Neha accelerating. Neha with the cross. And Pyari Khaka slightly late this time to reach the ball. Or else we might have seen another shot in the mix there. Throw in for Kickstart Football Club. The first half has been one to forget. Despite all the intent, despite all the movements and maneuvers out in the center, things have gone slightly awkward for them. 3 goals, couple of them from Pyari Khaka, one from Amiratu and Jambara, has kind of derailed the aspirations of Kickstart Football Club. They'll have to kickstart that heart of theirs, hoping to fight back again. Football is a masterclass of uncertainty, so it can go anyway. But you need to show the intent, you need to show the body language, you need to show the optimism. But for now, we'll have a breather. Snigdha Mondol with that long whistle of hers indicates that the first half comes to an end. And at the end of the first half, Nita Football Academy, they have a 3-0 cushion that they'll hope to build upon once the second half starts. We'll go into a quick breather and be back with the second half football. Stay tuned, everyone. Well, before we leave, we'll quickly take a highlights of the first half. That's how it all started. The first move of the day led to a goal. Neha with a picture-perfect ball, and then the goalkeeper and a couple of defenders circling around just completely missed the ball. And who was there to punish it? no one else than the Ferrari of Indian women's football, Pyari Khaka. Exactly where it matters. And then a couple of decent crosses came in. However, Haripriya looked good for those collections. Another one of those crosses, and Haripriya kept on stalling. And Kiran Bala with another fine ball. Kiran Pista as well came in with the cross, but Julie Kishan with that crucial block. Another fine long ranger, but Adrija Sarkale had it covered. And then that move out there, slight confusion, slight frenzy. Pyari Kaka from the right, slightly heavy first touch, came up with the cross, but this time Haripriya Deka looked good, leaped up just in time to collect the ball. And then an excellent save from Adrija Sarkale. A couple of quick corners was dealt with. Tad lucky as well there. Nita Football Academy, the back header, not finding its target. And then Baby Sana. And Amiratu. And Pyari Kaka looked in excellent control. That was another wonderful save from Haripriya. The rebound, shot into the skies. And that was $1 million ball. Kiran Bala should have done better, but got it wrong. And that was the last time Kiran Bala was in the act. And then Neha, taking her time, came up with another lovely cross. Pyari Kaka waiting like a predator in ambush. And just when she felt that the time was right, the iron was hot, she brought the hammer down, getting it 2-0. And then Matilda with a lovely touch forward, Pyari with a bit of a push in front, and Amiratu, the eye of a sniper, no mistake, latched onto the ball and steered it into the back of the net to make it 3-0 for Nita Football Academy. There was still an opportunity, a lovely one in fact. Kipchin missed it out, and so did Sunita Munda. A fine save from Advija. Neha with another cross. Unfortunately, it eluded everyone. That's how the first half ended. We'll be back shortly for the second half. Stay tuned, everyone. Hello everyone, welcome back to the second half of the contest, and as things stand, it is still 2-3-0 in fact for Nita Football Academy. An absolute display of rollicking football altogether. A couple of strikes from Pyari Kaka and one from Amiratu and Jambara has kind of set the momentum in play. With that being said, we'll be expecting more intense action. We'll be expecting more crazy football as well from both the teams. We are underway for the second half of the game. Nita Football Academy hunting for that clean sheet, hunting for the second victory of the tournament in the third game of theirs. And at the other end, Kickstart Football Club, they'll be hoping to try and forge a fight back. They do not want to go silently into that night. They'll have to fight. A couple of early touches already. And here, winning the ball away. Only to concede possession. Pyari Kaka now from the right. The two captains at it once again. And you can very well call it the trio of terror. Pyari Kaka, Matilda Kwao, and Amiratu and Jambara. They are looking like in solid touch. And you might just expect them to go all guns blazing as well. Jabamani Turu. Pyari going for the second post. But again, the range was a bit too much. A change here. Maria Malbala Morgan taken off for Kickstart SC and Olivia Chanu coming on. Kind of a forced change, one might say. They needed a bit more firepower. So bringing in Olivia with the hope that she can break free from the shackles that have been currently imposed by Nita Football Academy. Matilda almost jammed into the defender there. That gentle flick of hers to set up the third goal was so good. Susanna Canado, almost impregnable, standing tall like the Chinese wall. Lingtoy plays it forward. Good link up play, but once again, that final pass, that defense breaker is somehow missing. You're getting the ball in the right places, but if you're unable to penetrate, if you're unable to create that chaos that you want to, this can be a nice chance. Another brilliant save as well. Kipchin with a thunderous effort. And Nadvija Sarkale, she was made for this. She was born for this. Olivia, a wonderfully kept in play there, and Kipchin, one shy. And she goes booming. Then Nadvija Sarkale standing tall, ensuring the fact that she's got enough behind the ball. There was an early test already. And Advija passes with flying colours. But now, will we see more intent here? Lingtoy. Again, Lingtoy gets a pass wrong. Finds Matilda along the way. Matilda simply scanning the perimeter. Calculating in her head when to release the ball. Eventually does it. Pyari Kaka. Pyari goes for the cross and it eludes everyone. Pyari actually could have gone for a grounder or could have just come by herself with the amount of space that she had. Palmed away, not too far though. And now Nita Football Academy. They keep on knocking on the doors here. Quick turnaround. It eventually decides to push the ball all the way back to Julie Kishan. just a few moments ago. There was a fine chance in the making, both the sides trying to play a decent box-to-box action. And now this can be another fine move. However, you've got to release the ball just in time. Releasing the ball, holding on to it. This is kind of an art, and this art can actually create the difference. Significant one, in fact. Kipchen has been thwarted, not in the most promising ways. The referee blowing the whistle against Jashoda Munda. And it's going to be a free kick from a decent position. Kipchen is looking good. It's going to be Kiran Pista. A three-woman wall in front. Yashoda, Matilda, and Damiratu. Kiran delivers straight into the hands of Adbrija Sarkale, once again standing tall like a titan. And that positioning of Kiran just couldn't get any deviation onto the ball. Gun barrel straight into the safe arms of Adbrija. But now, Kickstart, they keep on coming in numbers. Still to find that clinical delivery that can allow them to at least reduce the deficit. And Adbrija just taking her time, no rush at all. The gentle Nick getting the ball out of play. Chested down as well. Couple of quick touches. Launching it forward, eludes everyone. In fact, it still keeps on going. Olivia. Again, almost out of desperation there. Ranjana Chanu. Ranjana, this time, is getting a bit of a tug out there. Paramita Sith asking of players quickly spread out. This might be one of the counter-attacks in the making, so also instructing the flow of passes, instructing the positioning that she will want her players in place in. Susanna. Javamani launches it forward. Pyari. Back to Pyari. Pyari with a gentle nick. Amiratu fails to come in when it should have mattered. And quickly saying sorry to Pyari Kaka and her teammates. But once again, just how quickly Nita Football Academy transitions into a position from where they can launch something substantial. Pyari Kaka coming in, storming in fact, in a diagonal from the right. Matilda Kwao through the center, being the creator, pulling the strings. And Amiratu, the predator. This trio, it's looking so good. And add to that, the finesse and flair of Neha. And just on cue, Neha launches it forward, chested it down. Pyari Kaka just couldn't get the shot. Haripriya with a crucial save. Another cross, but this time straight. Oh, Haripriya spilt it actually. Squabble everywhere. Looks like Haripriya has just given the ball away. This is chaos at its peak. And Haripriya Deka, fortunate that the mistake didn't cost her anything. Or else she could have been staring at the fourth as well. And this time, straight to Haripriya Deka. She'll need to calm herself down. Just a few moments ago, it felt like an erupting volcano out in the center. Another one of those long touches. But this time, before Pyari could reach it, Haripriya was just around and collected the ball without any trouble at all. That's a fine clearance there from Julie Kishan. This is what experience is all about. Ranjana. Back to Ranjana. Ranjana with a lovely ball towards the far side. And a wonderful follow-up as well. Just that couldn't get the header in place there. Bibicha Devi accelerating past Viksit Vara, who was caught off guard, possibly for the first time in this game. Viksit Vara, the way she almost forced the change of Kiranbala Chanu, that was impressive. But this time slightly late to start, and the price could have been exorbitant. But as things stand, Lady Luck smiles in favor of Nita Football Academy. Another one of those long balls, and Pyari Kaka just kind of, in fact it was Amiratu, just trying to squeeze herself into a position from where she could have just steered it towards the goal. Not to be though. Haripriya goes downtown. Well, Kickstart, they still have options. They've got Nimita Gurung. They have, of course, they have got Moni TV as well. It's going to be interesting to see if Shahaba Devi does get them on. They've already made 2 changes. Lingtoy. And Haripriya finally clears her lines. Just wanted to steal away a few crucial seconds. It's kind of hard, to be honest, to get past Jabamani. That's a good ball. Kipchen has looked really solid. Forced a crucial save from Adrija Circle at the start of the second half. Another throw in there. Susanna to Advija. Julie Kishan. Javamani. Right now in a bit of a pickle. Surrounded, serenaded by her teammates. Susanna gets hold of the ball. Now the gentle knock forward. Susanna gets that crucial header, and Advija, a slight moment of wobble, but does well to regain control. Back with Susanna. Susanna and Julie Kishan. The understanding between these two has been key so far to keep the defensive shape of Nita Football Academy intact. That's a lovely ball forward, a chance here. Again, the delay to pull the trigger. Even a split second can prove to be the unraveling of a dream. And with so much delay, it just gets a lot more tougher. Susanna just getting her troops in position, has been one of those generals, and has been one of those days where everything Susanna does, it turns out into something incredible. She's been that shield of resilience in front of a storm of attacks that has been knitted together by Kickstart Football Club. Ranjana gets the ball forward. Kipchen twisting, turning, twirling, loses the ball. And now Pyari Kaka, she can scoot forth. Pyari decides to drop a long ball. Amiratu winning it away, still with Amiratu. But eventually the clearance coming in from Sana Mija, resulting in a corner. And this is how Amiratu can create all the difference in the world. She's got that sudden burst of acceleration and she's put it to good use. This has been a tough outing so far for Kickstart. The first two games, losing both of them and not really in the best of shapes either. An hour of football going by. And Neha, she's all set to curl the ball in. Neha with the corner, but this time way too much of a curve on the ball. And that goes on to hit the side netting. Amirato. Bhumika. Stripped off possession there. And you can clearly hear Paramita sit. And Chaoba Devi. They're always at the top of the game. They're always at the top of their lungs, giving out instructions. Which is what matters actually. Because, you know, when your coach is invested in a game, and it gives you that added incentive. Another one of those long balls. And a bit of confusion out in the center. Odvija Sarkel coming out quickly enough. Did lose a footing, but ensured the fact that didn't lose the ball. And that's how it should be. It's not just about going through the motions. It's also about showing that added intensity to win the ball back at all times. And now some space opening up from the left. Bhumika Devi switching quickly to that left to take hold of the ball. And that's how versatile Nita Football Academy looks. Every player willing to take the positions of others if needed, which eventually bolsters their overall attacking intent. Another one of those fine long balls. Kiran, in fact it was Pyari Khaka. Pyari doesn't really get that ball from where some trouble could have been planted. Trying to be cheeky there, Olivia Chanu, but gets it into a bit of a wrong footing there. And nicely done. Julie Kishan to Susanna. Back to Susanna. Almost the guardian angel of the Nita Football Academy defense. Another one of those forward pushes. And Lingtoi lets it go all the way to Haripriya, who cycles back into the box and wraps her gloves around the ball. No trouble. Another fine pass. Some space ahead. Lets it off onto the right. A good ball into the center. The referee says play on. Good release. Lots of space. Neha speeding past. Neha goes for the shot. Neha makes no mistake. Had a couple of assists and now she registers herself a goal as well. It's a crescendo of brilliance after a fine acceleration. That's how you get to do. That's how you got to do things. And Kickstart Football Club being torn apart into shreds, into smithereens by the unbridled aggression of Nita Football Academy. We'll take a look once again. Lovely ball into the stride, a brilliant first touch, a lovely second, and then the third touch, the decisive one. Figured out Haripriya. She was wafting in the waters, just throwing her hands in resignation. All Neha had to do was just place the ball to perfection. That, however, is Jabba money to do. Jabamani Tudu has been a stalwart on the right, latching onto the ball every single time there has been something coming against her. 4-0 now. And it is looking a lot more troublesome. Might very well be another one of those goal fests here. Amiratu, Pyari, both the players gone down. Referees given advantage. However, they failed to capitalize there. Bhumika Devi just didn't get the touch right. This time, however, the referee's blown the whistle, awarding a free kick here. Ranjana goes along the carpet. Olivia cutting in, trying to line one of those shots up. Actually leaves it off for a teammate. Kipchen once again turning around. Another one of those long ranges blocked away. Through the center. That's a good forward ball. Can be a chance. Shot comes in. Dragged wide. Again, a fine move in the making there. Kiran Pista. She's a gun shooter. And the moment she saw the ball, she witnessed the ball coming at her, she went for the shot. Another one of those fine balls. Once again, Neha was fancying her chance. This time, however, she started that run of hers slightly early. What a player she's turning out to be. Such a young player. Such a believer. And the sheer quality, the sheer speed, the gentry that she's knitted together on the left simply keeps on enhancing itself. And they let it slide for a goal kick. Still 23 minutes of action remaining. And those 23 minutes, goes without saying, Nita Football Academy will be hunting for more goals. Pyari Kaka will be eyeing a hat-trick. And Kickstart Football Club, they'll be hoping to reduce the deficit. They still keep on coming out on attacks, but their defense, it's extremely frail. And all those chinks in their armor, it's turned out into full-blown crevasses. And this time, however, that wasn't the best of tackles out there, bringing down Bhumika Devi. Bhumika okay though. And the referee just asking out there. There you go. Quite tough, to be honest. Almost got hold of her in a position to land a German suplex, but that was not the case though. Another one of those long balls. And Haripriya does well to come out of a line just in time. And again, Susanna Kanadu, no space allowed. It's like Susanna's keeping a watch ancient enough, where she keeps on telling the attackers, you do not pass on my watch. Again, fine clearance there from Lintoy, resulting in a throw-in here. And Pyari Kaka, she won't bother about trying to get too early into an attack, trying to waste unnecessary energy. Jabamani Turu with the throw-in. Back to Pyari. Jabamani again. Quick turn. Misses out. Throw-in. Pyari almost won it back. Did get a touch to it, of course. But not a decisive one. And that is wonderfully done by Jabamani Tudu. The way she put forth that speed of hers, just to ensure the fact that Shushmita Munda wouldn't have a free shy at the ball. That is brilliant. But nonetheless, Kickstart Football Club, they do manage to get the ball in the box, only to give it away, and now give it away at a dangerous juncture actually. Unfortunately, Bibicha Devi jammed it ramrod straight into the hands of Advija. Needed to impart a bit of direction onto the ball. Might just, or could have just gone for the corners. That wasn't the case. Quick throw and taken. And that gets knocked out of play. Throw in again. Ranjana. Back to Ranjana. Ranjana brought down. Possession stays alive for Kickstart. Trying desperately there, Kipchen to break free. But eventually the ball goes all the way now to Nita Football Academy. Another counter attack in the making. Matilda finds Aminatu. Aminatu going for that first time cross and jamming it straight at the opposition defender. Another gentle lob. Controlled well enough. That's a good ball, Matilda. But Matilda brought down. And now through the center. Only to find another one of the defenders, Jashoda, dropping deep. Looks like it's Julie Kishan. Yes, it is. No, in fact, it was Viksit Bara. Back to Viksit. Susanna. Julie. Concedes possession. Only to give it away once again. Jashoda. Composed right now. No press at all from Kickstart Football Club. And unless they come up with a press, things are only going to go haywire for them. Susanna. Couple of pushes out there for Neha. But Neha manages well to maintain that shape of hers. Bhumika Devi goes down. Another attack in the making, maybe a counter attack. That's a lovely ball. Olivia. But where are the runners? No one close by for Olivia. So what should have been a simple pass ends up as a giveaway. And now Amiratu. Amiratu has got space. Amiratu checks a run. Fails to get the pass right. And that is another fine sliding tackle there from Lintoy. Not once but twice she denied Amiratu from having a freebie. That's how good she can be. It's just that today hasn't been her day. Neither has it been for her team. 4 goals conceded already. Jababani can come up with those long throws. Will she do that so? However, goes for a shorter one. Back to Jabamani. Goes for the cross. Pyari doesn't get any connection. Neha now. Another cross towards the far side. Kind of a lot of power on the ball and it eludes the goal frame. Kickstart Football Club possibly hoping for the clock to tick down because this has been an agonizing outing for them. And it just keeps on getting tougher and tougher. But if they can find themselves a goal, at times it's not all about victory. At times it's also about finding that shard of confidence. They're up against an absolute juggernaut in Nita Football Academy. And Olivia Chanu this time caught in the trap of the offside. So we'll have to return empty-handed. Another lovely long ball. This time though, the defender was all set. No real challenges at all. Heading it away to safety. Nicely chested down. Well controlled. Kept it away from Bhumika Devi. And now turning around like a spinning top there. Kiran Pista. Always in control. Kiran's got an extremely well-maintained shot as well at her disposal. And that's a lovely ball forward. Another chance this time. However, Haripriya came out of a line but the flag already went up. Neha, it feels like she's almost storming in. As if she is the living embodiment of oxygen. So much power, so much gas in her tanks. We are in the 74th minute, and yet the kind of speed that we are witnessing from Neha, it's just too good to watch. And watch out for her in the upcoming days. She's not just going to be a crucial part of Nita Football Academy, but I think the Indian football team will also be watching. She can eventually prove to be a crucial mainstay as well. And Neha this time delaying it a bit. Pyari Khaka onto the left, actually a surprising move for her. And now some space for Bhumika Devi. Bhumika, she finds Amiratu. Amiratu going for the outside dodge. Amiratu and Pyari Khaka with that hat trick. It's the history that she was waiting for. Yes, the goal has stand. The goal has stood actually. Apologies for that. Again, lovely chemistry in the making, and that's the second time in a row that Pyari Khaka has knitted together a hat-trick. History in the making. Every blade of grass will bear witness to her ballet of bravery. Wonderful, wonderful strike there. Amiratu taking the defender for a toss. A gentle chip, and again Pyari Khaka timing that run to perfection and poking home into an almost empty net as Haripriya Deka stranded flat-footed to where she was, apologies. And that is goal number 5. Pyari Khaka with a second consecutive hat-trick, the leading goal scorer of the tournament, 6 goals in 3 games. And she is not stopping, and why would she? When you are in such excellent form, you gotta keep on scoring. We're back in the field of play now. It's already turned out to be a humiliating outing here. Pyari Khaka on the ball. Pyari speeding past. Pyari with the cross. And this time Haripriya does well to collect the ball. You got a feel for her. You're up against two of the best players out in the center. Pyari Khaka and Amiratu and Jambara. It's kind of hard to keep them at bay. But I think she would have needed some help from her defense as well. How quickly the defense of Kickstart Football Club was split apart. The Neha, again, very young player, a bit of word exchange, of course. Haripriya Deka, slightly senior than her. And Pyari Khaka reaching out in the center, asking Neha to have a quick word. Again, Neha, very young player in the making, but a very talented player in the making as well. Can very well be a phenomena for Indian football. Matilda trying to nick it forward. Doesn't really get it where she wanted. Matilda pushes it to Pyari on the right. Pyari, not the best of crosses. Gets it wrong. And a couple of changes here. Shonali and Lalita is gonna come on. Shonali Serene and Bhumika Devi will be taken off. Lalita Boypai is out in the center. Nicely brought down, again trying to speed past to launch another counter-attack, but not to be. Another one of those long balls there. Goes attack to haywire. And despite jamming the ball once, It felt so good that they wanted to jam the ball once again at the defender. Lalita Boypai coming on as a midfielder out in this particular fixture, hoping to bolster that shadow, that shade ahead of that defensive third. And Neha goes out and Sonali Soren in her place. What a game Neha had. Excellent. 2 assists and a goal as well. And Matilda Pau. She has been that silent assassin. Was being brought down. Had no other chance. The way she is operating through the center. Touches. Weighing to precision. I think it's just glorious to see her in action today at least. Not a couple of quick touches there. Hoping to launch another one of those attacks. Nita Football Academy. That's well done. And just trying to be cheeky on that occasion doesn't really get the pass right. That's a good release onto the left. Olivia with the cross towards the far side. It was veering away, making life a tad easier for Advija Sarkel. But Olivia, she's looked really good. Ever since he's come on, there you go. Once again, no runners in the box. And a change here, finally the change that we were talking about. Nimita Gurung, she's gonna come on in place of Aruna Bagh. That's a confirmation, Nimita out in the center. 9 minutes to go. Can Nita Football Academy replicate the resounding victory that they had in their last game against Sessa Football Academy? That's something to watch out for. But in that game, they had 6-1 was the scoreline. Of course, goes without saying they're still hunting for the clean sheet. And can they finally get it in the third game, which will be an added incentive, which will be an added boost for them. Today, the way Susanna Kanadu has played, the way Julie Kishan has complemented her in the centre-back pairing, I think it's really impressive. A solid core in the defence. And another change that happened a few moments ago. That is Bhumika going out. And in place of Bhumika, it was Lalita Boypai coming on. It's going to be interesting to see if Paramita Sit does get Cindy Remruat Pui Colony in the act as well. Cindy has been doing the ripples in recent times and is being quoted as one of the finest of players in the making. Amiratu against Ranjana. Amiratu once again jams it into Ranjana. Ranjana has looked really good, Amiratu. I think she's been better with the passes on the ground. And that's a fine move in the making as well. A wonderful clearance there. Kipchen trying to take a quick throw. Decent link-up play, only to concede possession. Can they make the most of it though? Kipchen laying it off for Sunita Munda. Only for Sunita to lose her shape. Again, closing the doors down just in the nick of time. At times you have to rush, at times you have to take the chance. From whichsoever angle, from whichsoever position, you can manage to create for yourself. Waiting for that optimal moment to trying, or rather to find the ball from where you can create trouble isn't exactly the most ideal ideas in football. A split second can lead to a lot of difference. And I think Nita Football Academy understands it very well. Kickstart Football Club, however, will have to come up with something of their own. Again, in tournaments like these, it's a marathon tournament. This is the first phase. They still have quite a few games coming up in the first phase itself. Ranjana with another knock forward, and Susanna Konadu. It's simply not easy for the attackers to beat her today. She's like an ancient warrior, waging an almost unbreakable defensive show, almost single-handedly. The more we see her in action, that's why Nita Football Academy decided to keep Susanna in their ranks for a second consecutive season. Just take a look at how quickly she's just managing the lines. It's not that Kickstart Football Club has been completely off element in terms of their attacking intent. But attacking intent won't win your matches. You have to score goals, you have to convert your chances. You have to come up with those decisive defense breakers, defense splitters, which hasn't been the case. And now from the left, good layoff though. Unfortunately, doesn't find the ball. Nita Football Academy, fine ball onto the left. Sonali Sareen. Sonali with the cross. And this time not willing to take any risk at all. Nimita Gurung clearing the ball away despite conceding a corner. And Pyari Khaka with a quick high five. Another couple of changes here. Just on cue, we were talking about Cindy Remruat Pui Colney. She's gonna come on. Another one of those gem players. And Hema Munda as well will be coming in. So Julie Kishan, she's had a game today. And Jabamani Tudu as well. Let's see if these two players, they can inject further pace towards the end of the game. Corner nonetheless. Matilda with the corner. Once again, chaos in the box. And a shot from distance. And as Lady Luck will have it, Hemapriya Deka, she'll breathe a massive sigh of reprieve. Spilt the ball like an amateur. There, misjudged the flight of the ball. And Sonali Sareen actually did well to drag the ball in. Unlucky for her, but she just couldn't drag the ball in to an optimal position from where a goal could have been scored. This is turning out into a cauldron of chaos altogether for Kickstart Football Club. That's the confirmation. Hema Munda comes in place of Jabamani Turu. Another one of those cross towards the far side. Pyari Kaka was away from the ball. And more of a desperate clearance coming in. And that will go out of play. Cindy deployed as the defender. Can actually act both as an attacker and a defender. Plays that defensive midfielder, Cindy Colney Jr. And that's Cindy Remruat Colney, apologies. Matilda with one of those long balls. And Amiratu trying to square off Pyari Kaka. Doesn't really find that option. Intercepted again. Another attack in the making. Lalita Boypai. Lalita leaves it off for Sonali Sareen up front. We're almost in the last minute of the game now, a few seconds from now, and we'll have the additional minutes. Maybe 5 to 6 minutes will be added on. The second half has witnessed a bit of start and stop action. And now through the center. Again, the idea was to find Sonali Sareen. Four minutes of additional time. Olivia is finding it hard to actually shake off a marker. Lintoy does well to get the ball out of Amiratu's reach. But eventually, the follow-up ball that came in from Nimita Guru, that crossed everyone and landed in the wilderness. Kickstart Football Club. Can they get a late goal in this game? More like a consolation strike, but yet a glimmer of hope for the upcoming games there. At times you have to build like that. Or will Nita Football Academy? They latch on ferociously to their hope of a clean sheet. This time, however, just doesn't get it right. A bit of a buoyant header. Ranjana with a shot from range. Takes a couple of deflections along the way, resulting in a corner from a different side. But Advija Sarkel, she's also been phenomenal. Every single time the ball has leaked through Susanna Conado and Julie Kishan, Advija has ensured that she's keeping things under control. Headed away by Susanna. A gentle nick forward. And a drive from range. Missing its mark by a million meters. And Advija gets the ball rolling in no time at all. And that's wonderfully done, actually. The first start slightly heavy. And now through the center. Matilda laying it forward. Amiratu! But she won't reach it. Decent defending there from Nimita Guru. And again trying to find that aerial route. But intercepted. The tussle for the ball goes on and on and on. Olivia trying to find Susanna. But straight into the hands of the goalkeeper. At the feet, rather. It's a lovely ball. Slightly heavy, to be honest. Almost in the dying embers of the game. Few more seconds and Snigdha Mondol will blow her whistle. Right then, that is it. A 5-0 triumph for Nita Football Academy will validate their belief. And player of the match, Pyari Khakha. Excellent display. Another hat-trick. Two back-to-back hat-tricks, propelling Nita Football Academy to two humongous victories. And no wonder she's spearheading the team. And the sportsman spirit prevails. A fine outing altogether for Nita Football Academy. They kept on calling the shots right from the word go. But once again, they had their fair shares of challenges. Kickstart Football Club, they did come close and they did come close to trouble their counterparts. But again, kudos to Susanna Kanadu, kudos to Julie Kishan and Advija Sarkane coming in handy with brilliant saves to deny them a shy at glory. We'll take a quick look at the highlights of the game. It was a fine match in the making. Both the teams came out with intent, only for Nita Football Academy to walk out with the bragging rights. The pre-match rituals and all coming in, and then we started rolling. The first attack of the day came from Neha, who conjured $1 million cross from the left. And she found Pyari Khaka, enhancing her tally by the first goal of the game. And from there on, it was a wave of attack that came in from Nita Football Academy running riot here at the National Centre of Excellence. Couple of quick nicks forward did see Kickstart Football Club hoping to get themselves back in the game. Advija Sarkane had to come up with a couple of clutch saves. But that didn't dent the spirits, that didn't dampen the spirits of Nita Football Academy. They were reticent, they were sedate for around 20 minutes in the first half. But then the rockets started flying and there was no thwarting them. Advija came up handy. And had it not been for Advija, the story could have been different in the first half, because Kickstart Football Club actually looked good. They just couldn't get to hit the bullseye. And then this was another fine move in the making. A lovely corner, palmed away by Haripriya Deka. Looked good, to be honest, for her stint under the sticks. There was $1 million delivery only for Kiran Bala to get it all wrong. And then that moment where it all changed, where it all flipped. Another picture-perfect cross from Neha. Almost felt like she had a GPS tracker located at her feet, and she found Pyari Khaka without any mistake. And then Matilda with $1 million touch, Pyari with another brilliant nick, and Amiratu making no mistake in rifling one from point-blank range with only the goalkeeper against her. It was 3-0 at the end of the first half. And the celebration simply didn't stop. This, however, was a lovely move in the making. Kipchen failed to score. And then Sunita Munda actually had a chance as well. But kudos to Advija Sarkane. She did a brilliant job. And Neha came up with another lovely cross from range, only for the referee to point to the halftime centre line. The second half started with more women vigour. Nita Football Academy, they were hunting for more goals. Pyari Khaka came up with a crucial cross from the left. But in the second half, actually, Kickstart looked great. Kipchen coming up with that excellent shot, and then Kiran Pista with that free kick. Time and time again, Kickstart Football Club, they came up close enough to trouble their counterparts, only to be deprived of that finishing touch, only to be deprived of that touch of finish. And then Neha, after having a wonderful game, a couple of brilliantly controlled touches, and then eventually hammering one into the back of the net. No chance at all for the goalkeeper. Celebrations were aplenty. And then that was another long ranger, only for Advija to collect it without breaking a sweat. And Amiratu with a crucial assist towards the far side, and Pyari Khaka making no mistake, completing a hat trick with a flick of finesse. The celebrations were aplenty despite the fact that Olivia did come up with another one of those chances, but again didn't find any runner, any taker for the ball. And then there was chaos erupting in the box of the opposition Kickstart Football Club, but at the end of the day, it was it. And the player of the match was Pyari Khaka. Wonderfully played, wonderfully done. Thank you everyone for joining in. The final scoreline, Kickstart Football Club 0, Nita Football Academy 5. And with this, we tell you goodbye for now. However, there's another game coming up at 3 p.m. So stay tuned to the official YouTube channel of Indian Football. We'll see you soon.